Let's start out by getting the server going. We'll go npm run dev, and that should start us on localhost 3000. Yep. Perfect. Give it a second or two. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. Going to pick up day 3, work on some of the logic with the website. What I think I'll need to do, let me see, we should be on the dashboard page. Localhost slash dashboard. And we can, so we have our, we'll need to add some, we need to add some redirect as well with that, but I'll take care of that later. Perfect. So we see we're logged in and we see the user that we're logged in with. I'm going to adjust this button too. Maybe not right this second, but something I will be doing here shortly. Cool. So on this page, ultimately, this will kind of be the main dashboard route, and we'll be able to see orders, categories, pending orders, things of that sort from this particular view. But if we don't have a restaurant created, what I want is it to only show that you don't have a, or if for it to only show a message that you need to create a restaurant. So I think that's what I'm going to work on now. Question would just be, how do I want to write this logic? I think it'll be a helper function, but let me think about it for a second. Any suggestions out there, let me know. Mm, Let me update this. Just going to do update. Push this through. And yeah, I know I need to publish. this branch. I don't think I've done it yet. Restaurant app Edward. All right, cool. All right, so I want to do a couple things with this. Create me a notes.md file. Um, so creating restaurant. So write server action to create restaurant. There we go, Zod. User info redirect. Those are just some of the things I think I'll need with this. I'm just trying to think through how I want to write this. I think it'll make the most sense to do it as a helper function, because if I did it as a helper function, then I can have it check once you logged in. You get, if you're the admin, you'll get redirected to the dashboard, and from there it will automatically have your individual restaurant ID in the URL. I think that's what I'll do. And then from there, you can create your categories and everything else with it. So let's do that. But I need to do, let me see something. Uh-oh. I don't have a relationship between the user and the restaurant. I think we probably should establish that. So I think I'll go ahead and work on that now since I don't have it set up. Basically, what I want to do is have a relationship between the restaurant and the user. And in that way, once you're logged in, you'll check if you have a restaurant. If you have a restaurant, redirect you to that individual restaurant ID where, and then that will be all of the information here. And then you can just click on wherever you need to go, settings, categories, etc. And the home page will actually get everything that's associated with that restaurant and all of the information with it. So let me do that now. So we'll go restaurant, RESTA. We'll just do this. And then now we just need to create the user back to this. And I think I'll do the email. So user email, and that will be a string. And we'll go user, do, looking at the user model. We'll go at relation. The fields will be the user email. Going to reference the email, and then on delete, we will cascade. So that connects the user back to the restaurant. And we already have the restaurant to the category because that's ultimately what we'll do. And I'm not going to worry about deleting, just do the create and maybe update just in case you need to change the restaurant name. But I'm not going to worry about deleting because you always want to have a restaurant there. So we won't do that. But let me push these changes. npm right dev. Actually, no, I need to stop the server. I think it is migrate. I think it is. Let me see something real quick. Mm, it's npm Prisma migrate dev. Net. Let's just confirm it took. npx Prisma Studios TUDL. Yeah, it looks good. I'm gonna make sure of it. Paste it here. So I added the category this time, and with the restaurant, it is seeing the user, which is good. The restaurant has the name, user, email, perfect. User, relation, categories, perfect. All right, so it took. So yeah, we're good. All right, so this is what the home page will be. And then once we add categories, we'll begin to build out a little more of the home page, but need some back end or some information to display. And instead of hard coding, I figure we can jump to the back end. So that's perfect. All right. So first things first. Start this back up. npm run dev. I can close this out. So let's go ahead and install Zod. Zod. All right. So now we'll need that. update this. It's gonna drive me crazy. We'll push those changes. And let's go to lib, create a directory named actions. The first folder will be restaurant. And then the next one will be categories. And this will be create restaurant.ts. Hey, what's going on, my friend? How you doing, sir? Always good, good when you stop by. I appreciate it. I think, let me see something. Make sure I have that pushed through there. Sorry about that. So for this server action, we'll mark the file as use server so we can use this function outside of this specific file. We'll also need to bring in Prisma, and I think that is just, or is it destructured? That should be coming from, there we go. We'll also need revalidate path so we can revalidate the data. This should be coming from next cache. Let's just go export async function create restaurant, and we'll pass in the form data. The const name will be equal to a string, which will be form data that we get, that will have a name of name or a empty string. We'll go .trim just to make sure we don't get any bad data. And then we'll go const, I think it is, I think I did user email. Yeah, user email. So const user email will be equal to string form data dot get, and we'll get into user email or string. Wait a minute, yeah, I messed something up there. Sorry about that. That should have been there. Outside of it, there we go. .trim. Perfect. And just for some validations, we'll say if no name, we want to throw a new error that restaurant name is required. And we'll say if no user email, throw new error, authenticated user required. Cool. That takes care of that. And then now we're ready to get a little bit deeper into actually writing the function, which we can jump on that part now. And basically with this, just gonna keep it very simple. We'll add Zod, I think a little later on. I don't think I need it for this one. We'll do a try catch. We'll go const. We'll go const restaurant. Restaurant. Yeah. Sorry. Restaurant await, and we'll be using Prisma to make the connection, and then the model or schema will be right after that initial dot, and we'll be using the create method from Prisma to create a restaurant. And inside of the curly braces, we'll just say data will be the name and user email. And we'll just say select ID true, and the name will be true. Perfect. And I'll just go return will be okay. Let's set true as const restaurant. And we'll pass in any error. And we'll pass in a couple errors with this one. We'll just say if the error question mark code is equal to P2002, we're going to return okay. You know what? I'm not going to worry about that because I'm not going to make this multi-tenant. If you want to make it multi-tenant, I would suggest to do that validation. That way you make sure you get a unique name and you can let the user know that that's the reason that it's not working, but this will be fine. And if we get an error, let's just log it to the console. All right, so this should be the server action to take care of it. User email, that looks good, that looks good. It should come through as the form data. So now we just want to utilize this. I think the best way to probably use this would be if there is no restaurant. So we'll have the authenticated user. So let me do this. Let's go to and close that out. This page is the dashboard page. Okay. So I think what I'll do is with this user, get user restaurant. If no user restaurant, show a message to create. Otherwise, if there is a restaurant, redirect the user to the restaurant page. No, I don't want to redirect. If there is a restaurant, display data. I think that's what we'll want to do. That way we can capture that information and display it. And if there isn't anything, then we'll just show a button to create a restaurant, because otherwise there wouldn't be anything to necessarily show. I think that makes the most sense. All right, so let's try that out. And we'll need to keep this as a server rendered file because we're using async and we're getting user authentication from here. So where do I want to start? So I guess the question is do I want to put that logic inside of the page or separate it out and put it in its own helper function? Well, I guess with that, the question will be, do I intend to use it somewhere else in the application, or is this going to be the only location? Because if you're going to use it somewhere else, then it makes sense to just separate it out. But if you're going to keep it in here, then it really wouldn't matter. think I can do that and work on it next. Probably makes the most sense to separate that out now that I think about it. So we can write a function to help with that. And then that way we can keep it separate from this main code. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and put this in the lib directory and bring it into this file. We'll go lib actions. I think this is a restaurant action, yeah. Use a restaurant at TS, yeah. So we'll go mark this as use server. We'll bring in Prisma. So first, let's create this function. Name from email. We'll name that. And it will pass in a string. So const local is equal to email dot split, split. And we want to remove the ampersand. And then next item or my, get the first item in that array. So we use 0. We'll go const clean is equal to local dot replace. And I probably should Google this, but I think it is the up caret a z a z0 that's 9 plus g or empty string and go dot trim. And we'll return, use temperate literals, clean, or that goes inside of it. Restaurant. Okay. I think that looks good. That way we can get a clean return on it and pass that information back as needed. And we'll use this function that way we'll keep it clean. Yeah, just making sure I'm not overthinking this. But I think I should. But if not, we can always change it. That's why we're doing it this way. All right. Go export async function. We'll go get or create restaurant. And we'll just pass in the user email. It will be a string. And in this, we'll go const, start with validation first. Existing is going to be equal to await prisma dot restaurant. And we'll go find first, where the user email and we'll just go select. The ID is true. The name is true. User email is true. And that should be fine. We'll come out of this and say if it does exist, or if existing, then just return the existing. Hey, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? Thank you so much for stopping by. If you have a question, man, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer it. But just doing some coding, working on a personal side project, a restaurant website. It's going to be a clone of one of the restaurants that I like to visit here locally in my area. So I'm just taking a stab at building it, having a little bit of fun with it. The progress I have thus far is, I'll show it to you. The progress I have so far is, here's the front end of it, but the actual website is this one. Is it any better now? Let me know if that's any better. Sorry about that. And I'll adjust this as well. But if you click start order, this is basically what the website looks like, and this is what I am going after. Yep. So right now I'm just building out the back end functionality of it, some server actions to create the restaurant, and then I'll start adding the categories and menu items and things of that sort on the admin panel. And then we'll be able to display it, which is this is going to be the admin panel, and then we'll be able to display it here, which will be the user interface. But if you got any questions, man, let me know. And sorry about the sound. Hopefully it is better now. Let me see. So then if there's one that already exists, we're just going to grab the one that's existing. Otherwise, we'll just need to create. No, I'm going to be using server actions, no API. I may add an API. If this actually turned into something that I use for a client, then I would use an API because it'll be a lot easier to communicate. But for the sake of this project, I'm just going to use server actions through Next with no API. Great question, though. Great question. All right, let's get to it. Const base is equal to, we'll be using name from email, that function we created, and we'll be using the user email that we passed through. Let's say let candidate. I don't think there's another a in there. Is equal to the base, and we'll let I equal 1, and we'll go for try catch. Go const created is equal to await prisma dot restaurant dot create, and the data will be the name will be equal to the candidate, and the user email will be such, and we'll select the ID for true so that we can return it. The name will be true. The user email is true. And we can return the created at, I guess. I don't think we need it. They do only run on the server, and you can access them on the front end. Yep, you actually can. And with that, we will return created. Oh, sorry about that. I thought my microphone was going there. But anyway, so we have this function created. So I think the next thing we'll need to do is, oh man, I'm just doing the server action backend for it right now. I'm actually about to work on the front end UI next. So I'm just thinking of how I want to run this specific logic, but that's what I'll be working on next. I'm just working on the back end right now first. But man, I appreciate the comment, man. Thanks for stopping by. It means a lot for real. So how do I want to do this? All right, so let's go ahead and bring that in now. So on this page, the dashboard page, let's do this first. Let's go ahead and bring in the function that we just created. Create or get restaurant. Yep. And we'll say if no user email, let's import. I think we could just go redirect the user back to the home page. Let's try that out real quick. Let's see if that works. So we can go to localhost 3000. Are we on what 3000? Yeah. And let's go to dashboard. Perfect. It's not allowing us there because we're not logged in. And I know we'll need to display some form of login indicator, but I just want to make sure that a redirect would work. And as you can see, it is, because it's not allowing us to remain on this web page because we're not logged in. So perfect. All right. So we can say return for a p tag must be logged in and authorized to view this page. Let me just go class name. Go text red 600. Let's see what this looks like. So we'll clean this up a little bit, but I guess it's not allowing you to see anything, and you can see it isn't a session there because we're getting the sign in button. So that is working as designed, but we'll keep it as this for right now. So that works. Then we'll go down and we'll want to check for, like I said, the existing first. So we'll go const existing is equal to await prisma dot restaurant. Let me bring that in. Await prisma. Sorry, we didn't import prisma. That's why we weren't seeing the methods. Prisma dot restaurant dot find first. I'm going to find where the user email matches, and we'll say select the ID true, the name true as well. Okay. And we'll care for the existing first. So we'll say if there is a restaurant, we want to return some information. I'm just going to keep this simple for right now. We'll just have a H1, and we can just say existing.name. Otherwise, we want to display something if there isn't a restaurant. So we'll come outside of this and go async function action wrapper. And we'll go form data. That's in the form data. We'll mark this function as use server, and we'll just return await. We named it create or get restaurant. Create get restaurant. The first parameter is going to be null. The second one is going to be the form data. And then we basically can just use this return statement to display it. So we'll remove the username for right now, and we'll just go form the action we'll pass in will be the action wrapper that we just created right here. And we'll have a div with a label, label, restaurant name. And then the input for it will just be a name, which will be name. The placeholder will be restaurant name here. Close that. So our server running. Yeah. Oops, sorry. And then we need a button, of course. Create restaurant class btn. Okay. And we could probably go class name input. Hey, what do you know? Class flex column. Okay. So the name will just go test, and we'll click create restaurant. We didn't get anything back. Error, next redirect. Oh, it's because we are sending this over the server. That's not what we're looking for. I think I need to make a couple updates here. Gotta return redirect error. Remove this and go redirect. Next nav. And we'll just redirect to dashboard. Let's update this. There. So, so it did take, it just didn't, it didn't know where to redirect it to. Let me check this. Yep, there it is right there. So basically it didn't know where to redirect it to. And that redirect error should have been coming from where did we put that redirect? No. Where did I put that redirect? Because that's where the error is coming from. Mm, let's see, how do I want to do this? Yes. Let me do return restaurant. Just go redirect slash dashboard slash $ restaurant id. No, it's not going to hit right there. Let's see if I can slide it in here. Let's do this. I want to delete it. Yep. I have that somewhere in my code. I need to remove it because I don't necessarily need it anymore. Let's see, I can remove that from this portion of it. Restaurant created dashboard. I need to remove one of them. That's why it is kicking in. So I think I am going to change this behavior a little bit. So we'll go, if there's an existing I'll just move it all to the server, do it that way. I think that logic would make the most sense. So we're going to keep that. And instead of this, we're already capturing the name. We'll say const existing is equal to await prisma dot restaurant dot find first, where the user email, and we'll go select ID will be true, and the name will be true as well. Then we'll say if existing, just what we named that, then just return the existing. Otherwise, return prisma dot restaurant dot create data will be the name and the user email. And we'll go select the ID of true and the name true. So that eliminates the need for that redirect. So now let me just update the existing. Yeah. And that way I won't need that existing code there either. So we'll just remove this function. We'll keep the validation check, existing. If it is the existing, we'll just show the name. Otherwise, I'll get rid of this and just pass the function directly to it. Create a git action, hit save. Refresh it, see it there. It's going, come back. I don't see it here. We'll go testing. Reading undefined. Let's see. Yeah, I'm coming.